You look good.
Thank you.
Woo!
Amazing.
Hello. We're live.
We're live. Hey, everybody.
We're live. I haven't seen this woman, Angela, in a year, so I'm so excited.
We're so excited. We're just going to mostly catch up, and you guys get to chime in. You get to watch us catch up because we're excited to see each other.
Yeah, Angela, it's been a year, and you've already published another book, probably two. And you look amazing on the cover. And when I heard the title, wait, what is it? Show it. Get it close.
Right
you just published a new book, a bestseller.
Make a beg to publish your book.
When I saw that title, I was like, that's so you. I can hear the sound of your voice saying it.
That's so funny. So the title had me stumped. So titles are not easy for me. And I was really stumped, and I called it for months. I called it Publishing Reimagined in my head. And I was like, I'm excited about publishing being reimagined. But my reader doesn't. That's not what my reader wants. They're like, yes, I have nothing better to do. Let's reimagine publishing. That'll be fun. So, yes, give them what they want, people.
How did you come up with it? Can you tell me?
I'm going to tell you. Nobody's asked me the question, and I haven't told anyone. But here is the truth. Hey, Craig. Alina's on connective tissue. That's how we met Jackie, is through Craig's wife. So the truth is, I read a book that led to my amazing marriage. And the book was called Make 'Em Beg to Be Your Boyfriend.
Oh.
The perfect thing to talk to a dating coach about. So I had done lots of life coaching before I started dating again after my divorce. And so it, of course, is ironic that I bought a book called Make Him Beg to Be Your Boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this book, and it's going to give me a magical script.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to tell me, like, wear a short skirt on Mondays.
Totally.
And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, wear, like, a long skirt.
Yeah.
Then, like, on Fridays, wear a short skirt, but go out with your girlfriends and take a picture. Like, I was like, somehow I'm going to learn how to make him. And this is what the book said. Be fucking awesome. Don't worry about him and his begging. Just be awesome.
Chapter 1.
Yeah, exactly. So newsflash, that's sort of what my book says too. Because it's so unattractive in dating or in trying to get a publisher or a client or anything like that. It's so unattractive to be like, do you like me? Do you like this outfit? Do you want to hang out? Do you want to publish my book? I have 200,000 followers. Is that enough followers? Should I get more followers? Like, it doesn't.
Do you want to like me? Do you want to date me?
It doesn't work. It seems like.
You think the concept's cute? Yeah. Do you think that other book's cuter?
Right.
That's a really good point. Okay.
Yeah, so inspired by dating. So much of my advice.
I love that. And yeah, if there's, I don't know if people are watching. I know I have a few friends who want to publish a book, or they're writer friends. So ask questions, because this lady led me to write a book in, I guess, 5 weeks. I was in the 5-week group. So if you want to ask questions about book writing or book publishing, I'm not really sure how this goes since I've never done it, but ask questions. Even if you think she just might have insights. I thought I knew about writing. I'm like, I went to journalism school. I know how to do deadlines. I know how fast I'm going to be able to write it.
So I want to talk about where you are right now. You've got the wind machine.
I know. I wanted to be outside. I want to show you. I'm looking at vineyards. I thought it was awesome. We're celebrating our 30-year anniversary. So we stayed at a bed and breakfast on a vineyard. So we did wine tasting yesterday. So we're leaving right after this. We're just let's stay a little later and do work from here. And
I can tell it's beautiful because there's a window behind you, and I can see the reflection of the vineyard in the window.
I low-key wanted to get it so you could see it and it'd just look epic, but
right. Sometimes the lighting isn't meant for that. That is awesome. So are you in Sonoma or something like that?
We're actually in Temecula, so it's the underground wine scene, but we went on bikes. Okay. So we stayed here, we went on bikes. It's the non-bougie version of Napa. We had a friend who grew up here. It was great.
Got it. I love it.
It's great.
So I am super excited about this book because I was just sharing this with somebody else. Is my normal, the way that I usually write books is focused on getting clients. And so I'm always teaching, and this is not teaching. This is just a big old rant. So I got to say everything that I think authors are doing wrong and everything I think the publishing is doing wrong. And it was just like unloading on the world what exactly we need to do if you want to get your message out to more people. Yeah. This is basically my hidden valley ranch. It's my hidden secret for how to make a bigger impact and to get noticed.
Okay, I have questions I have friends who want to write and they want to speak. So I'm not someone who went into it for speaking. I went into it so that I could like reach clients and talk to clients. And it's been so powerful in just even writing it with you on relationships. It's like I've attracted people who are like grieving painful relationships, and I've like learned what my niche is almost even more from writing it.
Totally.
So mine was totally to be like, okay, who are my people? Like who's this community I want to like help foster? But I do have a lot of people who've been asking me questions about, okay, I'm writing a book and I want to speak, and they have like an idea. So do you want to, and I feel like you speak some places, but do you want to share about that?
That's exactly what this that's exactly what this book is. So this is the first time I've done a platform speaking book. And so the difference between a client conversion book, which is what I normally write, which is often like process and how you work with people in case studies. With this, what you want to do when you want to write a platform speaking book is to have a big idea. You want to have a way that you're looking at something that's different than anything else on the market. So if you're doing some valuable work, like let's say you're teaching self-love, or you're a life coach, or you're doing EFT, that is fantastic work and you can write a book about it. But if you want to write a platform speaking book, if you want to use your book to speak, you have to have a unique idea. You have to say something different than other people are saying. So, the very first book on EFT could be a platform speaking book. After that, they become client conversion books. Now, closer, we have Jenny Johnston is one of our authors, and she uses EFT for past life regression, which is a little bit different. She calls it quantum EFT.
That's a totally different group of people than who I work with.
Right. So that's like, so let's say you used EFT to, get rid of bunions, and you somehow figured out how to shrink bunions. Okay, we can make a platform speaking book about that. So the difference is, if you want to be a speaker, most people come to me and they have an interesting life story. They want to tell the story about how they went to the Peace Corps for 2 years. And it's just not really enough of it's cool, but you're not the first person to go in the Peace Corps. You're not the first person to say culture shock is shocking. What is your fucking point? And you have to say something totally different if you want to do a platform speaking book. And then you have that one big idea.
Yeah.
And you tell it through stories. So it's one idea, 10 stories.
Yeah, I love that. I'm thinking specifically, and I know she wants to be watching, so I'm going to ask it because she might watch the replay. She speaks all the time. She's an excellent speaker, wants to write about friendship. She just did a thesis on friendship.
Oh my God.
And the power of friendship. So I was kind of talking about specifics, and she was like, okay, I was asking for those stories. Like, okay, when has friendship been powerful? Like, what can happen if you don't have strong friendships? And she gets super passionate and fiery. My hairs are blowing now.
Like super passionate and fiery. So here's the deal. So most people make the mistake. Most people make the mistake of starting with the stories. So what you want to do is start with the big idea. So we have one book on friendship. Frankly, there are not enough books in the world on friendship. So I love that she's thinking about doing this. I think it's super important work. What you want to do is start with your idea. So Jen McRobbie wrote a book on friendship, and it's called Why Is She Acting So Weird? Mm-hmm. And the big idea behind the book is when someone goes through a major, in her case, cancer diagnosis, they often end, sabotage, or dramatically change friendships.
Okay, wow, yeah.
It's not because both people don't love each other and want each other's friendship then. Mm-hmm. It's because the rules of the game change and no one educates people on what to do in friendship when the rules of the game change, when the rules and the identities are in flux.
Yeah.
You don't have a good framework for how to navigate that.
Yeah.
So she has amazing stories, but it's all around that one tiny theme of when a friendship is faced with a medical crisis.
Yeah.
We navigate that friendship. It's just one idea. And the big idea is the person going through the crisis will seemingly act weird to you.
Yeah.
She's not really being weird. She's really being logical, but we don't teach each other the logic.
Yeah. So she went from like that personal story to a big idea. This girl would be going from the big idea that friendship's important into specifics, because she's like,
and if friendship's important isn't good enough.
Yeah.
That's like EFT. It's like, okay, friendship's important. Like that's not, it has to be revolution. Like no one's ever talked about why is the cancer victim, survivor, but victim, acting so weird. We just pretend they're not. We're like, oh, she's going through a hard time. Cut her some slack. Like, wait a minute. Hold on. Let's think about this differently. The person who does this the best in the world is Malcolm Gladwell. So
he's
we have this thought that we've had for millennia that, you know, Goliath will always beat David. Like we always know, like Goliath is big, David is small, Goliath wins, David loses. And then Malcolm Gladwell comes in and says, what if David always wins?
Right.
So he could have took the same stories and not had a big idea. His idea could have been like, it's more fun to win.
Yeah. And you taught me some,
and it's a boring book. It's not a book. There's no platform speak. But all of a sudden when he says, maybe David always wins, then we're like, whoa, it's not necessarily true. He just knows how to spin a damn book.
Yeah. And something you taught me is like, oh, we think of that as a huge, vague, broad idea. That it's like really cool idea. But he's actually talking to like corporations, like startups. Like that's his niche. Like, oh, there is a niche there. And like friendship, it's like, oh, I didn't do all the research, so I'm not as interested. But she started talking about how in organizations, when there's friendship in organizations, they actually last and there's no turnover and it's actually more profitable. I'm like, oh, that's who you're talking to. And she's like service startups, because they're so focused on, and now I'm giving away your book. I'm not giving away. Look, one day you'll have a book. I won't say your name.
No, but that's exactly it.
But that's what's more interesting.
I don't know what to do with friendship, but if you were just like hazing among college sorority girls, now that's a piece of friendship. Friendship when someone's going through cancer, the way friendship affects service startup organizations. Like people try and make everything so broad, and making it broad makes it unreadable. If you talk specifically about friendships when someone's going through cancer, everyone could read it. And they're like, oh, my friend's not going through cancer, but this applies to me. Yeah. Or
the person who buys it for that will then start telling it to the person who's never would buy that book, but then they buy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's powerful. Yeah.
So powerful. I love it.
Tell me more about your book. What's your favorite chapter?
What is my favorite chapter? So my favorite chapter is I got slammed in somebody started like a hate website about me. And it was called You Don't Pay to Publish. And the whole website was about how I charged people to publish and then stole all their royalties. Really mean. What?
You don't do that.
I know. So here's the thing. We don't charge people to publish and we don't take their royalties, but still people can say whatever they want. I mean, I guess we do them, but we have things to do. So I got super pissed off that this person was, number one, lying. And number two, even if he wasn't lying, so what if we did charge people to publish? I'm like, we don't happen to, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So then I started doing the math. I started doing the math, and the idea was, I've heard people say this over and over again. There's a lot of people that talk about how, as an author, you shouldn't pay to get your book published. People should pay you. And like, as somebody who grew up in journalism like you, like that sounds good. Like you go to a newspaper and they're like, hey, pay us to write an article. They pay you, right? Yeah. So then I looked at the numbers and I realized that if you take money from a publisher to publish your book and they pay you, let's say $10,000, there are only two scenarios. Either they pay you $10,000 and it's worth it to them, which means they made $60 or $70 or $600,000. That's your money. Yeah. Or the scenario where you win, they pay you $10,000, but they don't make that money back. And they've spent money on you, so they lose money. So they could lose, like, they could spend $10,000 on you and then lose the $10,000 that they've given you. Yeah. But then you've definitely done the wrong thing. You got paid $10,000. It's great. You get to keep that money. You've totally screwed over the publisher. You probably got someone fired. And you didn't help anyone with your book.
Yeah, and you were saying, and that was a big like misconception, I think, for me, of like a book advance is like purely to put back into marketing anyway.
Yeah, so, it's your money. They're going to front you your money. Like they're saying, we think you're going to make 10 grand on this book. So we're going to give it to you up front. Go spend it on marketing so we can sell this book rather than waiting.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So why don't you just spend $10,000 on
chapter just addressing it?
Yeah.
I love it. That's so your style. And the beautifully intelligent Megan, who is going to write a wonderful book on friendship that changes people. Megan, ask a question. I see her in the comments.
Hi, Megan.
Ask a question about your book, how to turn it into a book idea, into a real live book.
She's getting some of it, though. I heard her say, go big but not broad. Yeah, have a big idea but reach a small audience. That is definitely one of the big keys for it. So did I tell you about $250,000 book, the free class?
No.
Okay, so most people want a six-figure book contract. That's like the big dream.
Yeah.
So you can get one. And in my book, Make and Beg to Publish Your Book, you can find it on Amazon. You will learn exactly how to get a six-figure book contract. But I also want you to have the option to give yourself a six-figure book contract. And you can give yourself a six-figure book contract and use that money to go market your book is by actually learning how to generate revenue from your book. And I feel like there's all these really long, exhausting webinars that are like an hour, and I create a bunch of them myself. So I decided no more long webinars. I created a 19-minute class.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
19 minutes. That's all I need. It's shorter than a sitcom without ads.
The hour-long ones are brutal. I like that.
Right? So in 19 minutes, you can learn how to make $250,000 from your book. Megan should go check this out. Go to $250,000book.com. $250,000book.com.
Heard it here first.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so you could take that class, and then you could also go to Amazon and get a copy of Make and Beg to Publish Your Book.
So do you go over, in the 19 minutes, what do you cover? How do I leave changed?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to do another 19 minutes here. No, it's really how to set up your book to start thinking of your book as a funding source for your movement.
Love that. It's
So
such a
instead of thinking like, I need to get this book published by, and by the way, if you got picked up by a publisher today, your book is not in bookstores for 18 months. And the truth is, if you're going to get picked up by a publisher, we probably need a year. So probably 2.5 years from your book being in bookstores. Instead, right now, you could start generating revenue from this book. And let's get the second book. Let's get your second book with a big publisher. Right now, let's take the first book, start generating revenue with it, and then use that to do your own marketing. So when you go to the publisher and the publisher says, hey, we want you to spend a bunch of money on marketing, you're like, oh yeah, no worries. I've got a huge stash of cash, and if I need more, I know how to make it.
Yeah.
So Megan's asking a question. I see it.
Thanks, Megan.
She's saying, I think my big question is it important to start a blog and to have other platforms where my writing is public before I write this book? I write a ton, but I haven't put anything public. Most of my ideas come in and out of public speaking, but no written work. Do I start a blog? Fuck no. Go make money speaking. Figure out your speaking thing. Go get more speaking gigs. Generate more revenue. Use the revenue that you earn from speaking to get a kick-ass book written, the kind of book that's going to get you more speaking gigs.
So if you're speaking because you work at a place and that's why you're speaking, and she probably speaks to hundreds of people, maybe thousands each week, but it's like within an organization. It's within a church. So how would she go from speaking where she's doing that?
This is the exact first step that I recommend is make a list. This is actually the second step, to be totally honest. But the second step is make a list of 100 places right now that have a budget for speakers who speak on your topic and who are already hiring people. They're bringing people in right now. It's happening. You have to tweak your topic probably in some ways to find who is paying. But it's there. You just have to look for it. So for instance, one of my authors wanted to talk to people who are taking care of their elderly, like sick or elderly mothers. And no one's got a budget that says, hey, let's bring in people with sick mothers and let's pay for that. However, there's a company called Vial of Life, and it's a product that people who have aging parents buy. So when they're not with their mom, they have a way to get notified, like the I've fallen and can't get up. So what happens is that product needs to train home healthcare workers on how to use it.
Right.
That company has a budget for trainers. So even though her book is all about the daughters, she calls it Daughters on Duty, she was able to find corporate sponsors who want to get in through the visiting nurses associations, and they pay her to train the visiting nurses on their product. So it may be a surprising way in, but you have to first think about who has the budget to pay you to speak. Once we identify that, then we know how to write the book. So that's what I do before you go do a blog. Go find 100 people with a budget who want to pay you to speak. You don't have to call them. You don't have to get hired. Just figure out who they're hiring that solves the same problem you solve. And I promise you it's out there. It takes some creativity to find it. But that is the most important thing to do next.
I want to make a list. I love that. I'm even thinking of mommy blogs. It's like the mommy blog place isn't going to pay you because that's just some girl in her loft writing the blog herself. But it's like, oh, the people who are advertising on mommy blog page, yes, that's good. I think that was something like looking at advertisers who are following the same kind of stuff you're following, and then looking at that company and if they do corporate development, that kind of thing.
Come here. Hey, my time is up, but come here. I got a Facebook Live special guest.
Ooh, I know. I want to see if Jake's here.
You did? Okay, bend down. Say hi to Jackie.
Oh my gosh.
It's a fellow author. Jackie published a year ago. Jesse published in January. We're doing
Jesse, guys.
Oh, me.
Jesse, say who you are in relationship to Angela, if it's not clear.
I am my mom's son.
There, and he's a published author. How fast did it take you to write your book?
About 3 months. Yeah, 3 months.
3 months? Oh my gosh. See, people, what's the name of your book?
Help My Kid Wants to Become a YouTuber.
That's amazing. I love that.
Have you ever been on Facebook Live before?
No.
But what do you do instead of Facebook Live?
YouTube Live?
There you go.
Yeah.
It was a party. Was up at the parties for you?
What?
There was a party the last time I talked to Robin, and I thought it was for you. The last time I talked to Robin, there's a party at your house.
It could have been.
I thought maybe.
He did recently turn 11.
Okay.
That was fun.
Okay, I'm on mom duty.
Bye, Mom Judy. It was so nice talking to you.
Oh my God, thanks everyone. Go find my book on Amazon. Make them beg to publish your book. And Jesse's, which is Help My Kid Wants to Become a YouTuber. It was a double book. It was a double book tour.
Double bookstore. Love that.
Yep, send me a note and tell me what's going on with you.
I will. Wait, let me just show you the new cover.
I saw it. It's amazing. I'm on all the emails. I'm reading everything. They did such a great job. When is your book in bookstores?
July 4th.
I
picked it for freedom. So it's women freedom. We're free from these things. Yeah.
I love it. Jackie, your book comes out the same time as Erica Flint's. She published, I think, a month behind you, but her book comes out on July 4th as well. I will be at every Barnes & Noble buying up the copies of your books. So I will be there on July 4th. Congratulations. It looks amazing.
Bye. Good luck with the rest of it. Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.